Cooper DeJean coming over from Iowa. He's a guy you can just tell that he loves and understands the game of football. He's a technician.
I thought they was going to wind up moving him to safety, though.
I did too. But now,
for a number of reasons. What's going on? It's Keyshawn Johnson, and welcome to my show, All Facts and No Breaks, presented by Oikos. Stronger makes everything better. Now, remember to subscribe on YouTube, follow us on all social media, wherever you get your podcast. Joining me in New Orleans, better yet, is 8-time Pro Bowler and one of the best defensive backs in LSU history, if not the best, depending on who you're asking. Patrick Peterson. What's up, Pat?
What up, my guy?
Man, my guy, thanks for joining me again. This time we up close and personal.
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm not in the car now.
No, you're not in the car with bad reception or nothing like that.
Right.
You enjoying your time in New Orleans right now?
I am, man. It's always good to get back to my second home. You know, my wife's from here, spent, some time in Baton Rouge, so always was in the New Orleans area. So it's always good to get back.
You had an opportunity to hook up with one of your former teammates in Honey Badger, who's currently with the New Orleans Saints. What y'all talk about? What y'all do?
Man, actually, this is going to be my first time seeing Honey. I'm actually seeing him tonight, Honey Badger tonight, because, with our busy schedules, he got kids, I have kids, so the off season is always dedicated to them. So tonight is going to be my first time seeing my baby bro in about 3 years, but we always talk. We always in communication, but it's going to be my first time seeing him in the flesh.
It's so crazy because, like, Aaron Glenn is one of my closest friends, one of my good buddies. Man, I had seen Aaron Glenn personally, face-to-face,
right,
8 years.
But you still talk.
But we FaceTime, we talk, and so now that he got the Jets job, I'm like, I'm going to be like the official mascot for the Jets, hanging out at practices and stuff like that.
Yep.
You haven't officially retired yet. So when you haven't officially retired yet, that means that you still got that itch, in my opinion. And do you have the itch even more now that you down at the Super Bowl and you seeing all of this Super Bowl stuff, and you got that itch where you say, man, I might just off season come, get back at it?
Yeah, it's funny you asked me that question, Keyshawn, because honestly, I was still working out, and the itch started to die down a little bit because I wasn't getting any call. Well, I had a couple teams calling me, but it was nothing that that was respectful for me. And as I get around the guys now, I'm like, damn, I kind of feel like I want to get back out there and get back out, get back into tip-top shape to possibly give it another chance. But the itch is definitely dwindling away slowly. I will say that.
Did you know what time, like the timing of hanging up the cleats, even though you haven't officially retired?
Right.
Did you know when that was? Because I knew.
Right.
I knew. I'm like, I was still cool my last year in the league. I think I caught like 70-some balls. I was playing with like 4 different quarterbacks. I knew I was still cool, but I'm like, I don't want to do this no more.
Right. Like I knew I was getting to the end.
Yeah.
Like I knew I wanted to finish at least my 14 years, the 14th year with the Pittsburgh Steelers, because I had one more year under contract. And my goal was to always play 14 years. And I just came up short by 1. So that's kind of, the older that I got and the numbers started to get closer, that's kind of when I started to feel the urge, or that my body didn't want to go through this much longer.
So you obviously, 2023 was your last year with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Again, I'll mention you not officially retired, but you're watching football and everything, and there's Justin Fields and there's Russell Wilson in Pittsburgh. Is either one of them, in your opinion, a long-term option for Pittsburgh?
No, I don't think so. Just because how they were able to operate with Justin Fields last year. I mean, he was solid, but he wasn't anything that made anyone scared. And I feel like Pittsburgh needs to shake up the offensive style a little bit. It's still back, the way they're calling plays still in the 90s. You know what I mean? Now you want to be a little bit more innovative, with, I won't necessarily say trick plays, but have a little bit more spice in your offense.
Yeah.
A little bit more, eye candy, having some motions, having some shifts and things like that to be able to get
too bland.
Yeah, get your playmakers involved in the game. So I don't think either one of those quarterbacks is the long-term solution because Russell is going into year 14.
Yeah.
And like I said, it really looks like they don't really trust to give. They don't really trust to give Justin Fields the keys fully.
Yeah, I like Justin Fields because I honestly think if he can get the right offensive coordinator,
Yeah.
and Arthur Smith, I guess people hold him in high regard as an offensive coordinator for the things that he did in Tennessee. But I'm like, okay, you had Derrick Henry. You handed the football 8-9 men in the box. You get one-on-ones on the outside with A.J.
Play
Brown.
action, yeah.
And a play action pass. That's really pretty much it.
Yep.
Give me some variations of different stuff. Go out and visit with Sean McVay. Go to Shanahan and them and sit down in the offseason and talk about their offenses and try and instill some of that, even to the fact that go to Philadelphia.
Right.
Because Justin Fields is a mini Jalen Hurts to me, or he
100%.
could potentially be that. Let's move on to Super Bowl 59 here in New Orleans. We got the Kansas City Chiefs playing the Philadelphia Eagles for the second time in 3 years in the Super Bowl. Give me your assessment of this game.
Man, this is going to be a hell of a game in my opinion. You got high quality defensive play on both ends. You got the Spags, the guy who can draw up a defense and hit home from any angle from the defensive side of the ball. Then you got Philadelphia, who can pretty much just let their front four just eat and allow their guys in the back end to have vision on the quarterback. But we also know Patrick Mahomes haven't thrown an interception, and God knows how long. You know what I mean? So he's playing really efficient football. And then you go to the offensive side of the ball of Philadelphia. We know what they lean their hat on. That's the running game and their offensive line, really trusting in those guys. And we know what Patty Mahomes brings to the table. He's never out of a game. So that's my assessment of both teams on both sides. Who I'm taking in this game, I'm taking the Kansas City Chiefs because I'm taking who is the better play caller because it's going to be a close game, right? And what play caller you going to put your trust in, Kellen Moore or Andy Reid, when it comes down to a crunch time play?
So on the offensive side, you're looking at the offense at the end of the game.
Yep.
Between Kellen Moore and Andy Reid. I would take Andy Reid before I would Kellen Moore any day of the week. So we do a segment here on the show on All Facts No Breaks called Stronger Performance of the Week, presented by Oikos. Stronger makes everything better. So looking ahead to Sunday's game, which player do you think will have the strongest performance in this Super Bowl?
I'm gonna have to go with Chris Jones, man. I think he's gonna be the deciding factor for the Kansas City Chiefs defense in order to, penetrate the pocket when the Chiefs decide to run, but also wreak havoc when they want to run the football. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be a real tug of war match between Chris Jones and him finding his spot on the offensive, the weakest spot on the offensive line, which is very rare because the Philadelphia Eagles have one of the best offensive line in all of football. So I expect Chris Jones to have a heck of a game, and I wouldn't be surprised if he takes home the MVP.
So when you're looking at this football game, obviously Saquon Barkley rushed for 2,000 yards in the regular season, has had a dominant performance in the postseason. You as a defender, a smart defender, not afraid to stick your head in there, although you cover wide receivers, how would you try to defend Saquon in this situation?
Man, Saquon is a very unique back, man, because he has very unique vision, power, and speed. You know what I mean? He's a guy that you don't want to see in open field because he'll make you, they have this saying, Chandler Jones used to always say this when he used to beat a tackle. He's like, man, I barbecue chicken him, man. He's well done. And so Saquon Barkley is that same type of back because no matter how you game plan against him, he's going to find a way to maneuver and find and slither through many different holes. We saw him somersault backwards over a guy in the game. You know what I mean? So he's one of those guys that's hard to game plan for. You just have to hope and pray that all 11 guys on the defensive side of the ball have their chin strapped tight and ready to tackle.
So on the flip side of things, you got Patrick Mahomes at the quarterback position for the Kansas City Chiefs. Not sure if you've been on the back end of some of his touchdowns and whatnot. But how would you defend him?
Man, Patty is another guy. He's very unique, and I feel like everybody's been talking about how many yards Travis Kelce is going to have in this game. I believe Travis Kelce is probably going to have the opportunity to have one of the biggest games, in Super Bowl history because what Philadelphia defense plays, they play a lot of zone. So, and Travis Kelce is one of the best guys in the history of the game and finding those weak spots. But how to defend Patty Mahomes he's another guy as well because he creates so many big plays off creating extra time. Like you're a receiver, I'm a DB. Like we know, at least in our day, the ball's coming out within 4 seconds.
Yeah.
DBs are used to covering receivers for 4 seconds. Now we got to cover a guy for 6, 7, 8 seconds, and now receivers they're at liberty to run wherever on the field, and that's where you see majority of their big plays. So, and that's hard to defend. But the Philadelphia Eagles do have, the recipe to do it with their defensive line.
You clearly you started game one as a rookie.
Yes.
So now the Philadelphia Eagles got a pair of rookies in the secondary, and Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean. I think I said it right. What you think of them so far this season and in the way that they've come in, and have played for the Eagles?
Man, they came in and found like the perfect system. Man, Cooper DeJean coming over from Iowa. He's a guy you can just tell that he loved and understand the game of football. He's a technician.
I thought they was going to wind up moving him to safety, though.
I did too. But now,
for a number of reasons. For a number of reasons.
Right, for a number of reasons. But at the same time, he can play safety. He's that wild card piece to where you can have him inside. He can play safety and he can play outside. And what he brings to that secondary is physicality, great cover skills, and blitzing ability. You know what I mean? So he's kind of that wild card for them. And I possibly see them trying to put him, if they decide to play a little man-to-man, to have Cooper DeJean on Travis Kelce a bit.
So you think about Jayden Daniels, he really is an LSU product because he played 2 seasons there, but I'm gonna claim him because he's from California.
Yes, he is.
And he went to ASU first, and y'all stole him because y'all give money away at LSU. So y'all wind up stealing him and paying all that money for him to travel so far to get to LSU. But he was a rookie quarterback. I mean, when you look at him, you look at Caleb Williams, rookie of the year.
Yep.
I mean, he had an opportunity to put his team in the Super Bowl as a rookie. What do you think? What did you think about his play thus far in his young career in Washington?
Man, the way he came in, it just looked like he picked up where he never left off in college, and it just looked like they had him and Cliff Kingsbury had a perfect connection on how they wanted the offense to look and how they wanted it to be operated. And he was just very, very smart on his decision making with the football and running the football. You know what I mean? Was on the track of being one of the more accurate quarterbacks in the sequel season. As a rookie, that's something that you just don't see. And it wasn't like he was just throwing 5 yards here, 10 yards here. He was throwing the ball down the field. So it was very unique to see him come into the league with that poise, with that confidence within his ability to still be that guy. It was definitely remarkable to see.
So we had the Hall of Fame inductee. Well, they haven't officially got inducted, but we announced the 4 last night in Jared Allen, Sterling Sharp, which I know you did not play against.
No.
Then there's Antonio Gates.
Played against Antonio Gates.
And then the last one is Eric Allen, which I know you didn't play against him at all. When you look at where these guys are in their class, how would you assess their careers in the National Football League?
Man, obviously I haven't had an opportunity to really watch Eric Allen or Sterling, but I had an opportunity play a lot of golf. Well, I used to play a lot of golf with Sterling, back in that day when I was in Arizona. He used to come to all of my golf events. But watching Jared Allen and
But you didn't play against Jared Allen, did you?
Yeah, he was in Minnesota.
Early.
Yeah. So I played
back into his.
Exactly. So I played against him when he was in Minnesota, and he was a guy that you definitely had to put a hat on, especially on third downs, because you knew he was coming around the edge and to do his little.
I was about to say, was it here or was it here?
I think
it was one of them.
Yeah, I couldn't remember which way it went,
but
you did not want to see that doggone celebration. But he was he always wreaked havoc when whenever I had opportunity to watch him back in his Minnesota days, KC days. But I feel like when he got to Minnesota, that's when he really, really started to take off. And Antonio Gates, man, he kind of made it popular for tight ends. You know what I mean? Back in the day, you know what I mean? For what he was able to do for what I can remember, the tight ends that I love watching was him and Tony Gonzalez. You know what I mean? Those were the tight ends, back in the day. My man McMichaels from Miami. Is it Jeremy McMichaels?
Miami, University of Michigan?
No, Miami Dolphins.
Oh God, you losing me now.
Yeah.
from back in the day?
No, not back in the day. He
McMichaels?
was in the 2000s. He played with Chris Chambers and all those guys.
Y'all wasn't watching Miami.
Yeah, but
Miami
anywho.
was horseshit. I wasn't watching no damn Miami.
But you was with the Jets, so you saw him twice a year.
No, Chris Chambers wasn't. He wasn't with the Jets. I mean, he wasn't with Miami. It was
Would
O.J. McDuffie and Rondé Gaskin and like Lamar Thomas.
So what was your last year with the Jets?
2000.
So yeah, you just
Or 99. I'm sorry, 99.
Yeah, you just missed it. But those Tony Gonzalez and Antonio Gates, those were the tight ends, during their time. So they made it fun to see tight ends, running seam routes, dunking the ball and doing that celebration. So to watch those two guys' career and watch them, play,
Yeah.
I thought it was definitely well deserved.
So one guy that many people thought could possibly have gotten in based on beating Tom Brady twice in the Super Bowl, having I guess you could call him playoff Eli, or what the case is, did not get in. Do you think he deserved to get in as a first-time ballot Hall of Famer? Because I personally did not think that he deserved to get in as a first. I do think he deserves to get in.
Yeah.
And whether I get in as a first-timer or a last-timer,
No matter.
I'm in the damn room. Do you think he deserved to get in the first time?
I did not think he deserved to get in the first time. But remember, going back to the question before we got on air, like what goes, and you didn't have the answer to it, but I want to know what goes in the process on the number of guys they select each year.
I have no idea.
You know what I mean?
I have zero idea.
Because Luke Kuechly, I thought Luke Kuechly would have been
got in, but
no doubt
get
about
in.
it. No. So, but like you just said, you pointed out, when you get in, it doesn't matter. You're in.
See, and that's the thing. It's so funny because me and Paul Pierce, my running mate on Speak, we just be having conversations about different stuff when dudes get mad about something. And I always ask him, why is he mad?
Right.
Okay, so I'm not a starter in the All-Star game. Yay. But I'm in the All-Star game.
Right.
I've been in the Pro Bowl, and I wasn't a starter before.
Me too.
But I've been in the Pro Bowl, and I was a starter. I'm still in Hawaii with everybody. I don't care.
Yeah.
So I think about that sometimes, and I just don't know. But I don't know the criteria on how they pick who needs to go where and how they get into the Super Bowl. I have like zero idea.
But no, I did not think Eli would get in as a first ballot.
So we have a photo, Pat Pete, of next year's candidates. I want you to take a look at these names and tell me what you see.
Okay.
Who you see possibly getting in.
I could definitely see Fitz getting in there. I mean, he's top 3.
You got Larry Fitzy, Jason Witten, Drew Brees, Frank Gore, Shady, one of my guys, Julian Edelman.
For sure.
You got Dez Bryant. You got Marquise Pouncey, Phillip Rivers.
Then again, it's going to come
Geno
back
Atkins.
to how many guys they're taking.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But 2 locks are Brees and Larry, in my opinion.
I would think Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald would certainly. Man, I was getting ready to read this thing. Drew Brees and Larry Fitzgerald would certainly get in. Jason Witten would certainly get in.
Yes.
And I believe
Frank.
Shady McCoy may have an opportunity because he has 2 Super Bowl rings. Saquon Barkley just broke his Philadelphia Eagles record. And he's my motherfucking homeboy at FS1.
And you talking about first ballot, right?
No.
You just talking about getting in in general?
First
100%.
ballots is going, in my opinion, is going to be Larry Fitzgerald, Drew Brees, and Jason Witten off that list if it's first ballot.
Okay. But
Those
Shady's definitely getting in.
Yeah, Shady will get in. Yeah, for sure.
Shady getting in.
It's crazy ass. Back in November, you came on Speak, and we talked about Travis Hunter playing cornerback and wide receiver in the NFL. And since then, he's won the Heisman. Do you still stand on the position that he should play in, or should he get a little bit of both action now that you had a chance to see him play a full season again?
Man, I feel like if a team allow him to play both ways, I don't think he's going to be able to play both ways fully.
Yeah.
I saw the reports that he wants to play. He want to commend himself to play both ways like he did in college. I think that's going to be a stretch.
Yeah, the league is just is first of all, you too valuable to me.
Exactly.
So I'm not getting ready to run that risk on a continuous basis with you. I mean, I got some plays here and there.
Right.
But
that's why I said if he's valuable like that, that's why I think he'll get drafted as a receiver.
Yeah.
Because now when he get into these, start taking his visits to these teams, they're like, all right, Travis, you're not playing, you're going to play both ways, but you're not playing both ways fully. Pick one.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's more valuable on the offensive side of the ball than the defensive side of the
There's
ball.
a couple teams at the top of the draft that need a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So you got like Cleveland sitting there, they need one.
Tennessee
needs one.
Oakland, Las
Vegas needs one. The Jets will need one. I think the Jets are picking at 6.
Yep.
And the guy on my board is Shedeur Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's the number 1 quarterback coming off the board this year.
Yeah.
Where are you at on Shedeur?
I'm with you 100% as well. I haven't had the opportunity to watch many other quarterbacks in college football, but him and Cam Ward, those are the top 2 quarterbacks in my opinion. But I just love what everything that Shedeur stands for. Just his pocket presence, his will to win, just his leadership skills is very. Some people may see it as very different and up front, but at the same time, he holds himself accountable just as he's holding his teammates accountable. How he talks and how he speaks in the press conference, never pointing the finger.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So those are characteristics that I love to see in the quarterback, and he can ball.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
he can ball.
So, how well do you know the history of LSU's football program?
As far as how, I can go back, but I can't go back in the 80s. But if you can give me some names, I know some players.
But if I told you to list,
okay,
Mount Rushmore of LSU football players.
Okay, yeah, I can do that.
Can you put? Because somebody like 1928.
Right. So that's what I was about to say.
1928, there was this guy named Sammy Chernovsky, and he was the best running back ever.
Exactly. So it's kind of hard, but I go Billy Cannon. He's the first player to really put LSU on the map.
Okay.
To win the Heisman. We just lost him a couple years ago. So I'll go Billy Cannon, and you said football. So myself, Tyrann Matthews, and Joe Burrow. Cool blow Joe.
Yeah. I'll go Joe, you. I can't put the Honey Badger in there.
Okay.
Because he didn't finish up.
Gotcha.
Right? It ain't nothing against him,
Mm-hmm.
but it's hard to put him in there. So I'm trying to see, even Jamar, I can't put in there because he didn't finish up.
Yeah.
But Jefferson, Justin, you might want to throw in there. Leonard Fournette, you might want to throw in there. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to, and I didn't even go to LSU. These are just guys that I watched play. And
Jamarcus Russell. His time at LSU, he balled.
Jamarcus Russell?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I want to put Swagoo in there somewhere, argue.
See, I haven't had really the opportunity to watch Swagoo, but I hear nothing but great things about
Swagoo.
He
was ridiculous.
He was a dog.
No, he was ridiculous. Not Swagoo. I'm sorry, not Swagoo. Booger.
Oh,
McFarland.
yeah. See, I definitely
two big boys.
I definitely didn't watch Booger.
Yeah.
But you got Glenn Dorsey in college. Big Glenn.
Yeah, Glenn actually, he actually lives out by me.
He does.
Yeah, I see Glenn all the time at the grocery store. Him and his wife. So. Yeah, I mean,
there's so many guys, man.
Yeah, it's a lot. I get this question from USC
because I'm gonna say, how the heck
we can't do it?
Right? How the heck you gonna put 4 guys?
Well, I know I'm on it if it was 4 dudes. I didn't even win the Heisman. So
who would be your Mount Rushmore of
USC?
Yeah,
me, Ronnie Lott, O.J. Simpson.
Yeah. One more.
Man, it's hard.
That's what I'm saying.
I could take Bruce Matthews. I could take Anthony Munoz. What am I thinking? Anthony Munoz didn't even play his senior year. It was the number 2 pick of the draft.
Yeah.
So it's just, I know I'm on it. That's what I do know. I know damn well I'm on it.
Keyshawn's on there.
Oh, it's not even a question.
No doubt about it.
Anybody that says that I'm not on it, they obviously never watched me. That's what I gotta say. Yeah. All right, man, that's a wrap for today's show. Thanks for joining me, Pat. Be sure to follow All Facts Pod on social media and subscribe on YouTube. Until then, peace.